And I was a victim today myself. I could tell you the story later, but so
We did. We had that.
yeah. So I mean, now
There is no room.
okay?
There is no room. He is. He's doing okay. Even though, if he wasn't, if people didn't know him, you know, if you listen to the story, he'll tell you the story afterwards. It'll be a little tough. But look, there's no room for police brutality and for police overreaction. I'm a supporter of the police department, and I believe that our officers put their lives on the line each and every day, and I'm a big supporter. At the same point, those who cross that line, those who use excessive force, those who don't do their jobs the way they're supposed to, there's no tolerance for that. So, you know, as I said, it's one of the things, police brutality, you're going to continue to be tough and harsh on that and not make excuses. At the same point, and one of the things, look, I believe that when it comes to the police department, it is a two-way street. I want to have the police department and our officers respect the communities that they're working in. I want to have our communities respect the officers also. It is a two-way street, and I think we have a ways to go to be able to make sure that that two-way street really exists. So I'm a believer in that. I'm not going to stand for police brutality. I'm not going to tolerate it.
Now, someone brought up the issue of the police. One of the greatest problems we have with police today, and I think overall they do a good job, is that they are not, many of them are not from the city. And where it was when I was a police officer, we lived in Brooklyn or we lived in New York City, and then we moved out. Then a lot of them moved out to the island. So their connections were still here. Parents, grandparents were here. The young kids who were coming into the police department today, they're like third generation from East Cupcake, Long Island, or wherever it is they come from. They have no experience with New York City. They don't. And you know, whether it be in the African American community, in the Hasidic community, they just have no experience with dealing with New York City. And what happens when you don't know something? Most of the time you're afraid of it. And when you're afraid, you react. And that's the biggest problem. Bill, by the way, Bill was one of the most vocal people about stop and frisk. While all of the left-leaning candidates jumping up and down, get rid of it, get rid of it, stop and frisk has been a good thing. It needs to be addressed. It needs to be modified. There's things that have to be done to make it better. But Bill was one of the few people that stood up and said, this is not a program. And we need to change that. We need to work on it. It has to be changed. And while the police department's aware of it, I don't think they're doing enough. Because the mayor has to be the one to say, I want this done. Mayor is the boss of this city. The mayor sets the tone. And whether it be, thank God, one of the things that Crown Heights is not blessed with is a lot of bike lanes. Except for Empire Boulevard, which they screwed up, by the way. You know what that one lane is like up and down there, right? You know, we've been a little fortunate with that. But that's what they think about. They just don't understand us as people, whether it be in your community, or my community, or the rest of Southern Brooklyn, and the rest of the boroughs of New York City. What I love about Bill is that he comes out and not only just talks to groups like this, but groups all over, whatever ethnic background they might be, and says the same message. It's not a message for you and then a different message for another group. It's the message. I'm going to make change. I'm going to make the city better. I know this man, and he will do some fantastic things. Thank you.
do you have any plans on keeping Ray Kelly as police commissioner?
What I've said is, I believe it's important that, as mayor, I bring my own team to the table. That I bring the most talented individuals that I can find. But I think it's important that you put together, a group of people who share your vision for the future of New York City. So it isn't about not keeping Ray Kelly. I'm going to bring my own team across the board, whether it's police commissioner, chancellor, or other commissioners. I'm going to bring my own team to the table.